McLaughlin, fastest in practice this morning, hits the... Oh, he's gone! He's gone! McLaughlin up and into the wall, and it is a flashback to Indianapolis. The rear goes on McLaughlin's Penske into one. We heard him hit the limiter, full send into turn one.
And full push from that wind down into turn one. Big tailwind, that's going to get that top speed up, but it's also going to take a little bit of downforce off of the car going in that direction. And he turned in, I mean, it was the biggest warm-up speed that I'd seen so far, biggest warm-up lap. Great to see him coming out of the car.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at this. It looked like it happened pretty early. Indeed it did. Really never had a chance to get the car set in the corner and loaded up. It looked like a forklift turning into turn one. Another angle here.
And that by far and away the biggest impact that we've seen this week. And wouldn't you know it, had they just listened to Townsend Bell's estimation of lap 245 for that final stop, somebody out here would be incredibly happy. It's not going to be Nolan Siegel. He's lost it. He's in the barriers, which means we're under caution. But by the time he went in, every stop had, and I mean literally just, been taken, which means nobody gets that advantage of that stop under caution when everybody else had taken theirs under green. We ride on board with Siegel.
Let me tell you, this was a big hit. Listen.
Yeah, almost straight back in. A lot of crash structure back there, which helps taking. Then Rasmussen, is he going to take it?
Oh, there's a big one at the back.
Is that Santino?
I think it's Ferrucci. I think that is Santino Ferrucci.
It is.
And that's big, coming out of 12. Rear wing into the pit wall at high speed.
And you can see, James is pointing it out here in the booth, the impact straight into the concrete backwards. That's a huge hit. Sudden deceleration. Great to see Santino climbing out under his own power.
The man who was on pole position here last year loves this track.
Oh, just loses it on the power. Oh, big mistake.
And from outside, yeah, just too much, too soon.
I know what I want now, and I'm working with my engineers. I wonder if Graham, whoa! Ericsson now, is that over in turn one?
And that looks like, I think it's turn 13.
Look at how heavy.
Rain. Wow.
God, these guys should have just, I mean, everybody should have bailed for pit lane, James. I thought a little earlier than this. Whoa!
Oh! Fastest corner on the racetrack. We saw it on that track map. It's 160 miles an hour. And you saw the damage from landing.
Why, though?
I mean,
the rain coming down so heavily, why send it
and he's
so aggressively?
Well, I think it's only coming down in one particular part.
Fuel, but a nice catch there from Nolan.
Oh, big crash. Someone's gone off. That is Marcus Ericsson in the 28 and front wing. Damaged down there in the gravel, Marcus Ericsson. And that's the final turn. I think he's probably just down in front of our commentary position. And he is beached down there in the gravel.
Looks like a pretty big front end impact.
So let's see what happens. Yeah, rear snaps out on him, catches it, but almost catches it too well.
Does the overcorrection. It's such an easy thing to do with the steering wheel loaded up. Again, no power steering in an Indycar. And as it steps out on you, the weight of that wheel is so much, getting the right amount of correction.
Foster defends very cleverly. That's an important place to defend.
That's a big one for Stingray Rob.
Boom, the 77 Goodhart Chevy into the tires, concrete wall first. You see the driver moving in the cockpit.
I'm so sorry, guys. What are we doing here?
Down in turn 5, one of the fastest parts of the racetrack.
I don't know what that was.
Be interesting to see what led up to that. I'm imagining contact with somebody.
He's apologizing to the team.
He was in a fight with Scott Dixon, and courtesy of Goodhart. Oh,
got some rear locking. Oh, just a tremendous amount of impact.
I wonder if Malucas was saving a little fuel and he got surprised there. It's a little bit like what happened with, oh, it wasn't Malucas, that was Marcus Armstrong. I wonder if it's a bit like what happened with Malucas on the start, losing the back of the car. It's an awfully fast place to lose control, almost 190 miles an hour as we take another look.
Yeah, you might be right. Maybe Malucas.
They were side by side for a while, but it's single file as Colton Herta tries to catch back up after.
And that's a big one. That's Nolan Siegel in the back.
Massive contact for the number 6 full course caution. You see the 12 of Will Power, a championship contender.
Awesome.
Well, and that is race over for Siegel. That is rookie Louis Foster as well from the small town of Odium in the United Kingdom. And this guy's now pulled the entire track under a full course yellow. Pit lane is closed, but this could have huge permutations for those who have started.
Part of the track, James, it's blind for the cars that are trailing behind Siegel.
And you see it almost starts with Joseph Newgarden, that blue car. There was a bit of a gap there. He seemed a little slow out of turn 2, a queue behind him, and that accordion effect just got everybody bunched up. Maybe Siegel was a little bit slow. Power got into the back of him. Nothing Nolan did wrong there. Another car involved. Oh, that was Foster. Maybe Foster even got into the back of Power. We'll have to take a look at
Colton Herta, Pato O'Ward, then Joseph Newgarden is 4th, and Christian Lundgaard already on the rear wing. Oh, and it's a big one for Kyffin Simpson. And out goes Felix Rosenqvist as well.
That's turn 6, the trickiest corner on the racetrack. That narrow entry there leaves very little room for 2 cars side by side.
big hit there for Kyffin Simpson on the concrete before he even got to the wall there. That young driver coming off his career best finish for the podium in Toronto last week. Rosenqvist here in that Grateful Dead livery.
What a shame for both. Rosenqvist, who looked so fast all the way through this weekend. Did he get a nudge from Scott McLaughlin on the way in there? Kyffin Simpson would like to get another angle of that.
But then how did Rosenqvist spin? That was strange. Oh, he got in. Kyffin Simpson got in the back of Rosenqvist. It looked like side-by-side contact.
How's it up there? Nothing else coming. You all right? Oh, sorry, guys. Go.
Heads up driving from Pelot on back. Is we got a spinner. Kyle Larson.
No. Larson hits Simpson.
I think Stingray Rob may have been caught up in that as well.
It is game over for Larson, and that is the double. Done and dusted.
1,100 miles will not be completed by Kyle Larson today, unfortunately. That was a very manic restart. Ed Carpenter slid up wide into the path of Pelot. Pelot had to get on the brakes, slow it down. You see Kyffin Simpson in the wall in the number 8 machine. AMR safety team on the scene. You see a thumbs up coming out of the car.
Real speed.
That's Larson at the bottom, now to the top.
Stingray Rob just broke the right rear toe link, and at that point, he's a passenger, as we'll take a look from Kyle Larson on board.
Oh, he downshifted.
Oh, no.
Third gear, you're at the top of third gear. That was a downshift he did not need.
A good result today. How much would a podium? Oh, and Foster goes high. And almost, oh no! Oh no! And that is Foster not willing to give that position. A rookie ultimately getting into David Malucas.
That kid is such an...
As he tried to get through. He has choice words for Louis Foster, and I am not surprised. Commentators curse strikes, and I apologize for that for David Malucas, because a brilliant run comes to an end. And Townsend, James, your races, that to me as a non-racer looks fairly inexcusable.
Yeah, that very deliberate move back up the racetrack from Louis Foster to try to force a wider turn-in point, try to keep himself from being lapped by another car. Malucas trying to seize the opportunity, but it just looked way too darty for me. To get on the levers with the anti-roll bars and using the weight jacker. Oh, and Kyle Larson's backwards. Big hit on the nose of the car.
Nose into the wall. Big spin for Larson. Rear will go in. And Kyle, I guess we have to let you go.
Yeah, I got to get back to work. Thanks, guys.
Get back to work, Kyle. Thanks so much for coming up, my man.
First qualifying effort of the day at Kyle Larson.
Second crash this year at this track. This time getting backwards. The last one was a glancing blow, but it's good to see Kyle Larson.
Spine.
This is exactly what the Hans device was designed. Did you see a little puff like his car bottomed?
Bottomed, maybe.
Yeah. He was over. He was really over far left. So if you look at his left wheels, if we see that one back, he's way over on the dirt.
But the right front, right rear, left rear corner, there's the impact at the back, though, that second hit, and it was pretty square on the attenuator. So optimistic that his race car.
Oh, vicious. You can see stuck.
Daly trying to get the move on Rasmussen. Oh! Big hit. That is big.
And that was.
It felt like that has been coming for a lap and a half. The frustration.
I mean, Rasmussen just wrecked us, so I'm sorry about that.
Glad to hear Connor's all right. That was a massive impact. We talked about the minimum speed through that corner, T-Bell, 150 plus. He just drove him straight off. That was totally uncalled for, and we'll need to see that one a little bit earlier on if we can. It's tough to see how it started.
A horrible hit.
It is so fortunate that Connor's car did not get airborne or start rolling right there. I mean, he's going 100 and probably 40 miles an hour.
17 laps.
Oh,
that's big.
Armstrong, Rosenquist, the number 60 car.
I think another car's involved maybe. That's down in turn 3. I think the 45 maybe of Louis Foster I'm seeing on the screen.
Oh, see the AMAR safety team sprinting to the aid of Louis Foster and Rosenquist.
I'm fire my fucking leg.
So Rosenquist's radioing in. Louis Foster down the end of the escape road.
Fastest part of the racetrack. They're going 180 miles an hour right there. It is often a hotly and fiercely contested break zone, as we've seen throughout the day. Hard into the wall as you take a look at Rosenquist. Looks to be all on his own here.
What happened?
Oh,
no, the right front
suspension
went.
failure. Oh!
Oh, no.
What an uncharacteristic sort of situation there. So bizarre. The 45, that right front just collapsed.
I hate to say it, I haven't seen a right front suspension failure, James, since it happened to you at the Speedway.
And that is an immense hit into the back of the 60, and then Rosenquist sideways into the tires.
And no way that Rosenquist would have seen that coming.
No, it's a heck of a shock when you're just turning in.
Oh.
You think everything would hurt in third and Ericsson down in fourth. As there's a yellow on the racetrack.
Another crash. Takuma Sato.
A much bigger hit.
Wow, look at the damage to that car.
And that was a fast race car as well. That's a tough break. It's tough to have a race.
We talk about being on a knife edge here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and Marcus Armstrong has had a big accident out on track. Behind the wheel, moving his hands, the AMR safety team there swiftly to check on how he is.
It's a massive, massive hit for Marcus.
Speed seat, and we get our first look at it now. Yeah, just a little bit high. Loses it once. Very similar to the accident of Takuma Sato, actually. Looks very similar to Takuma's accident from the open test. But it's just a tremendous amount of energy. 230 miles an hour minimum speed in the corner.
Yeah, you look at the gearbox is completely popped open, half shaft ripped out.
And Townsend, you were talking about this right at the top of the show. How loose the rear of these cars can get with the hybrid unit in there, the added weight. The rear went on him. He almost appeared to catch it, and then the rear went on him again.
It's a pendulum effect, right? It catches, and then it hooks back, and then it swings back out again, even bigger on the next one. And at some point, you simply run out of road. Watch in real time.
Oh, boy.
Oh. And you know what? The way he hit, the back goes in first, but it almost creates a whiplash effect with the...
If I were to be honest.
Big crash.
Thanks, Pato.
Big crash. Big crash. That's Kyffin Simpson out of turn 4 and rolling back into pit lane. Big crash for the Ganassi driver.
Yeah, I'm okay, but Man, that was loose.
Most important thing, Kyffin on the radio right away, telling the crew that he is okay.
AMR safety when it's loose. Bad things can happen as we take a look for the first time.
Oh, there it is.
Exact same wiggle that Palou had in turn 3.
And then the rear is just gone, and he's, oh, wow, that is big. Lucky boy.
Ride for Kyffin Simpson.
Lucky boy.
Car came back down, thankfully. There are holes in the floors to try to prevent the cars from going airborne and flipping over. You saw it go up. It should have, you know, by physics, you would have thought that car was going over, but the advancements that IndyCar's made on the floors of these cars definitely came into play there. You see those holes there just behind the front wheels.
And importantly, keeping the car low and not just upright, but not allowing it to fly too high. But that is a massive...
Oh, huge accident. Joseph Newgarden upside down on the front straight.
Absolutely massive. Joseph Newgarden is upside down on the straight.
The AMR safety team jumps immediately over the wall to talk to the driver.
We're hearing he's radioed in and is okay.
It was going picture perfect for Joseph Newgarden. Now an absolute nightmare scenario as all the cars on the front straight trying to navigate the minefield of carbon fiber and debris. I imagine they might come through pit lane.
That is right at start finish.
Right ahead of our commentary position, looking down onto the start finish stretch. And that is the car of Louis Foster.
Into the marbles, into that spent rubber on his own, damaged the car, and you're just a passenger as a driver at that moment.
Oh, dear.
Oh, no.
And Joseph absolutely nowhere to go. Look at that.
Oh, my goodness.
I've never seen anything like that on a short oval.
Not at all. God, he could have easily cleared the pit wall and ended up crashing down pit lane. And there you see not only the roll bar, but the Aeroscreen halo device protecting Newgarden as the shower of sparks is flooding the cockpit.
A nice big gap between the driver's helmet, and you see the right rear of Foster's was so broken he had no control of that car. And Joseph just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
But I'm reminded again of the safety of these cars. That is a T-bone impact, which is one of the worst impacts that you can see on a racetrack.
Everybody would be distracted.
Oh! Scott McLaughlin in the wall. Big, big accident down off of turn 2.
That's a huge moment for Scott McLaughlin, last year's pole sitter here at the Indy 500.
Wow. Wow. Looked like a massive impact when we went straight to the cockpit shot there for Scott McLaughlin.
Let's take a look at what happened. Through turn 2, just got loose.
Stayed after the power for a while as he got backwards to try to do what he could to spin the car around and ideally keep it off the wall. But guys, the left rear just pogoed. It's still in the air. It hasn't landed yet. There it is.
Wow.
That is a yard sale of an accident. Debris everywhere.
And this is what we were talking about at the top of the show with what happened with Marcus Armstrong yesterday. When you're pushing the limits and trying to get the feel for the car that you will have in qualifying, you are running that exact same tightrope that you do when everything really is on the line.
Hey, Ryan, you and I have both been through this kind of sequence on an oval. Describe what McLaughlin is experiencing here.
I mean, this is one of those deals, you guys were talking about it yesterday, where the feeling within an IndyCar, especially going that fast, it's micro inputs and the sensation of rotation into the corner. There's such a fine line between the car being dialed in positive on the nose to it just keeps rotating and you're just a passenger. And there's not a whole lot you can do with it. There's such a fine line.
Wing back on it, and he can get back in this race.
He can get back on track.
Oh no, our camera guy.
For Andretti.
And for you regular IndyCar fans.
Oh! Spin it in the wall. That's huge for Colton Herta. Upside down and dragging down the track. That's a big impact. That is a huge impact for Colton Herta here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Terrifying crash for Colton there. We've seen issues there before. We saw it this morning in practice with Armstrong. Turn 1, so difficult. The highest speeds these drivers experience all year long. The AMR safety team, as always, very quick to the scene.
He's had on his own. Let's watch.
I mean, that looked different even from Armstrong. Armstrong had the moment, caught it, and came around. Colton's just went around very quickly.
He didn't look like he had a chance.
By the time he knew it was loose, he was already sideways, and not much you can do. These Indy cars are designed to have a lot of grip and a lot of downforce when they are pointing forwards, but as soon as you get any yaw, any slip in that car, the downforce peels off, the grip disappears almost exponentially with every degree of rotation past a certain point, and at that point the driver's just along for the ride.